Hi guys, my name is Chris and you're watching Wrestling Today, so let's start with complete Clash in Paris 2025 results. Roman Reigns vs Bronson Reed. The OTC arrived in Paris and conquered as he crushed Bronson Reed in front of a raucous French crowd. The WWE Universe serenaded Reigns, infuriating Reed, prompting the powerhouse to unload on his opponent and mock the crowd while doing it. Reigns found it difficult to overpower the Australian superstar with his signature Superman punch, even being countered into a massive runnage senton combo and later a jagged edge. The former undisputed WWE champion finally connected on a pair of Superman punches, but the monstrous Reed powered through and down Reigns, but his attempt at a tsunami went awry. Somehow, Reed reversed a spear into a sit-out powerbomb, but Reigns countered the ensuing tsunami with a Superman punch and avalanche Samoan drop. With the crowd in a frenzy, Reigns delivered a match-ending spear to quell Reed's threat once and for all. After the match, Reigns got payback on Paul Heyman, but was attacked Braun Breaker and Reed in a hellacious beatdown that also saw Jay get taken out with a rib-cracking spear. WWE Tag Team Champions the Wyatt Six vs the Street Profits. The WWE Tag Team title remains with the sadistic Wyatt Six as they beat the Street Profits to retain their title. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins didn't appear to be on the same page early on, but it didn't show in the ring as they brought the fight right to Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. The champions settled in and took full control by using their unique bond and unorthodox tag team maneuvers. Dawkins tagged in and earned back some momentum, but his Swanton Bomb wasn't enough to regain the tag team title. Gacy attempted to hit Ford with a superplex, but Dawkins tagged in and allowed his team to hit a massive electric chair blockbuster. The action came to the ringside area where Dawkins took out Gacy and Lumis leveled Dawkins, but Ford's massive tope over the ring post took everyone out. However, the official became distracted and Nikki cross-trapped Ford, allowing Uncle Howdy to hit Sister Abigail before tossing a lifeless Ford into the ring for a match-ending leg pull. Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch vs Nikki Bella. Becky Lynch is still the Women's Intercontinental Champion, but she endured an incredible test from WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella. Bella was determined to prove she still belonged inside the squared circle and immediately clocked Lynch several times, forcing the men to reconvene on the outside. The ruthless Lynch fought back and began berating the challenger, but it only fueled the fire inside of Bella. The challenger was determined to hit a rack attack, but Lynch had her perfectly scouted and countered the devastating move before hitting a ring-shaking superplex. Lynch moved to end the bout with a disarm her, but Bella countered with her fearless lock, forcing Lynch to find the ropes and break the hold. Bella stunned the champion with a manhandle slam, but the wily Lynch countered a disarm her and trapped the challenger in a backslide cover to win the match. Rusev vs Sheamus good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Fight night came to Paris as Sheamus and Rusev battled in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, and when the dust settled, only Rusev was left standing. The action started fast as the Celtic Warrior bashed his opponent and set up a couple of tables, but the Bulgarian Brute countered. Rusev continued to bash Sheamus with a steel chair, but a swift knee strike to the face gave him the advantage. Sheamus sent Rusev flying face first into a precariously placed steel chair and followed that up with a Celtic cross, but it wasn't enough to end the brutal bout. Rusev cracked Sheamus out of midair with a kendo stick and smashed the Celtic Warrior through the bar set up at ringside, but Sheamus countered the accolade by dropping his opponent on a steel chair. The two rivals battled around the ring before finding themselves perched on top of a quartet of whiskey barrels, where Sheamus hit a jaw-dropping white noise through a pair of tables. Rusev attempted to hit Sheamus with a shillelagh and was hit with a brogue kick, but somehow the Bulgarian Brute fired back up to land a pair of machka kicks and a shillelagh to the back. The demented Rusev grabbed the broken shillelagh and used it to enhance the accolade, forcing Sheamus to tap out and end the battle. John Cena vs Logan Paul. John Cena's last match in Europe was a memorable one as the Unseen 17 defeated Logan Paul in a back-and-forth matchup. The demonstrative Paul was determined to ruin the end of Cena's European farewell tour, mocking the legendary superstar with a bevy of holds and disrespectful pin covers. Cena managed to catch the Maverick off guard and hit a thunderous AA, but Paul kicked out at the last second. Paul was resilient, and his stamina seemed greater than Cena's, but he became increasingly frustrated and distracted by the WWE Universe the longer the match continued. The former undisputed WWE champion busted his opponent open and countered a disrespectful attempt at a five-knuckle shuffle into another AA, but it wasn't enough to win the match. Cena turned back the clock and hit a Hurricanrana, a Code Red and a Styles Clash, but not even that was enough to walk out of France with the victory. With one final burst, Cena hit Paul with a trio of attitude adjustments to win the match and send the WWE Universe in Paris into yet another frenzy. World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins vs CM Punk, LA Knight and Jay in a fatal four-way match. Seth Rollins' vision is still intact as he retained the World Heavyweight Championship after an epic fatal four-way match. The Visionary dominated early on, taking out CM Punk, Jay, and LA Knight before getting leveled by a flying crossbody from Jay. All three challengers took turns beating up Rollins before joining forces, but Jay took Roman Reigns' earlier advice and super-kicked Punk, reminding everyone that there are no allies in a fatal four-way match. Rollins jumped back into the fray and hit Punk with a pedigree before berating LA Knight in the corner, mocking the megastar. Punk and Rollins battled on the apron but the champion rolled back in the ring, allowing Knight to crash into the Second City Saint, sending him through a table. Rollins went for a stomp on Knight but the megastar countered with a BFT, only for Jay to break up the pin at the last second. The match became much more chaotic as Jay went for a spear, which Rollins stunningly countered into a pedigree. A furious Visionary stomped out Knight and Jay to leave him and Punk all alone, but a GTS from Punk had the champion down and out. Suddenly, a masked figure appeared and low-blowed Punk, revealing herself to be none other than Rollins' wife, Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. Rollins used the shocking moment to stomp Punk onto a steel chair and win the match, furthering his grip on the World Heavyweight Championship. Thanks guys for watching.